Welcome to the workout. So I'm going to talk about my prep for my upcoming meet as well as some knee rehab that I'm doing. I've already talked about the lunge incident enough. I don't need to put another clip in. That knee has been bugging me for months, so I think it's finally time to actually properly rehab it. I have about 14 weeks until my next meet. At the time of recording this video, it was about 16 weeks. I am a little behind, but that will give me some time to actually work out in the green zone, keep things nice and comfortable, and then build it up once my knee is feeling great. So started off this workout with some conventional deadlifts. I'm still practicing my conventionals so that I can use them if they end up being stronger in the end. Did some doubles with 240 here. They felt pretty good. And then I went on to do an AMRAP with them. I was hoping for 5 to 7, but I only got 4. This was when I was in the start of my move, so energy was pretty low and I kind of gave out mentally here, but overall I'm pretty happy with getting 4 still. And considering that I just did 240 for 7 on sumos the week before, hitting 4 there is still pretty good. Moving on to the squats. So I can still handle full depth squats. This is my normal stance, and in coming videos you'll see I changed that up. But I can still handle full depth squats with 170 for about 2 sets of 5 reps. So my plan is to still get some squatting volume in and hit some full depth squats with whatever weight I can. And then hopefully in about 4 weeks, I will be able to hit 180 for 5. And that'll set me up good to kind of really build that up over time. At about 4 weeks out from the meet, I want to be able to hit 200 to 205 for 5. I think that'll put me in a good position to hit around 225 to 230 at the meet, maybe even higher with a good peak. This is also a great example of how your rehab should still be the lifts that you're going to do. So my rehab is squats. I'm squatting what I can, and because I haven't been able to squat too much, these actually do feel pretty hard on my quads, but I'm squatting what I can and I am working hard. So I'm still staying practiced with that movement and I'm still getting good strength training in, even though my knee is not quite 100%. And I'm keeping the tolerance at green zone. I have a video on the 3 light system that I use. If you're unfamiliar with it, I suggest going to go watch that after you're done with this video. After my regular squats, my knee was starting to get into the higher ranges of the green zone. So because of the next 4 weeks, I want to keep it pretty green. I decided to experiment a little bit. These first 2 weeks are going to be about experimenting with what moves feel comfortable and what moves I can push my quads with. So I cut the depth on the squats, and then I added weight. So I stay acclimated to the squatting pattern and some heavier weight on my back, but I don't piss off my knee, and I can still push my quads pretty close to failure. So I did pin squats with 190 here to failure. I was absolutely dead after this set, but it was a little bit awkward to set it up. But once I got going, it wasn't too bad. However, I don't think that I could load this effectively too much, and it does take time setting up, so that will be a barrier. This is an option, but I'm not sure if this is going to be my top option for pushing my quads in a more comfortable manner. After doing it with the regular low bar position, I moved on to doing them with the safety squat bar. This allows me to push the handles forward and push the weight forward so that I'm not bending forward as much, and I'm actually getting more work on my quads and a little bit more knee bend. The safety squat bar also gets me a little bit lower because the pad increases the depth very slightly, and it was easier to get going and set up than it was with the regular bar. I did 170, it's actually about 176 there because the bar is 58 pounds, and it was just a little bit heavier than I wanted. I wanted to get more reps in, so then I moved on to 150, 156-ish here, and I ended up repping it out like mad. I was absolutely gassed after this set, and I was gasping for air, so I think that a better weight to choose would have been 160, and that would have set me up better to just push these, but not be so drained after. Again, did I love this? Not really. It wasn't bad, and it is a tool that I can use. So I might use this again in the future, but if I can find better ways to push my quads that are more accessible and don't take as much setup, then I'll do that. So to set these up, I'm also taking the uprights out and putting the safeties in where the uprights go so that I can just set it up, no problem, and touch the safeties and comfortably push myself to failure without having to worry about dropping down into further depth to safely bail out. That makes things a lot easier to just turn the brain off and then push and push and push until I can't really push anymore either due to mental fatigue or physical fatigue. And after the squats, I did some of my favorite exercise, the Zercher RDLs. I just did this with 110 because after doing those deadlifts, after everything that's been going on with my life, and after pushing the pin squats to failure, I was quite fatigued. So 110 felt amazing. I got a really good stretch on my hamstrings here. I was able to rep it out a good amount, and I got a pretty good pump going. But again, I can do more on this. But after the first exercises and everything that's been going on, 110 was what I comfortably had, and I was still able to push it pretty good. So my thoughts here is that I want to push all the muscles around my knees as much as possible too, so that my deadlift stays strong and that the rest of the muscles are strong, so that when I do come back to squatting normally, it's only really my quads that need to be pushed again. So these really push my hamstrings amazing, and I absolutely love them. I superset the good mornings with some sissy squats. I did these both feet, and I'm just holding on to the rack here. It adds some support. I'm trying to minimize how much I'm helping with my hands, but again, I'm making sure that I'm staying somewhat in the green zone. These did push me a little bit higher than I wanted to, but again, it's early on. I'm not too concerned, and it wasn't too much. And all of this should show that you do need to work hard during your rehab. If your rehab is not leaving you tired after, then that's not rehab, and you're just wasting your time, straight up. If you go to see someone and you're at least not getting some muscle pushed close to failure or some challenging exercise, or they're not telling you that that's going to be planned in the next few weeks once certain symptoms are gone enough, then they are just stealing your money and wasting your time. Go see someone else. That is bad rehab. Your rehab should be challenging you. Your rehab has to be hard, and you have to work hard during it. You should be tired after, and it should be a workout. I wanted to leave that in there without any audio over it, just to hear the raw grit that it took. It was a hard set, and like I was saying, I could do a lot more. So I put 140 on the bar, found that dog in me, and just pushed it. I ended up getting a really good set out of it. After that, I went back to the sissy squats. I decided to try doing them one leg. As you could see, it did not work out. It was quite aggravating to my knee, and I had a lot of inhibition with it, so I could not really push the muscle well. So I just went, okay, I'm going to do both legs. I can help minimally with my hands, and I can still push my quads pretty close to failure with these. I'm actually pretty happy with how comfortable these are. And I'm also quite surprised because it's usually the deeper ranges or getting that stretch on all quad muscles that kind of increases that tension on the patellar tendon for me that really was aggravating my symptoms. So the fact that things have been getting better for however many months, and especially the last few weeks, and these being comfortable and I don't have to push through pain with them anymore, is actually pretty happy, or actually makes me pretty happy, and I'm looking forward to the progress that I can make. Then I rep them out here and range. I was trying my best to help as little as possible until I couldn't really move. After those, I got in a good set of some momentum rows. These are actually a great exercise. Using momentum is good for overloading the eccentric. I'm going to throw out a video on that, but a lot of people don't think about that. And it just shows that a lot of people don't necessarily think things through too much and don't see how things can always apply to their training or what tools to use. Anyways, after that one set of kind of pushing it, I do more strict rows at 110. They're not fully strict, but they're a lot more strict. And I push these to failure, trying to get a good pump in my back, work my lats, just get stronger overall. I'm actually really happy with the progress I've made on barbell rows since throwing them into my program. And my back's feeling quite strong. My cable rows are about the same. So we'll see if that strength really kind of starts to shoot up. Nothing special for the knee rehab there or the meet prep. I'm just really far out. So I'm trying to get thick and juicy, build up some dense muscle and some good strength, and then carry that over into the lifts and specialize that more into the lifts as I get closer. But it's always good to be a well-rounded and strong athlete altogether. I did some of my back bends after that with 110. I didn't want to do lower weight on them, and 110 just wasn't feeling that amazing today. I wasn't able to get great range of motion, so I just said, nah, screw it. I'm good with that one mediocre set of 4. And then I went back to doing my rows. That was just randomly thrown in the middle. Again, leave some room for play in your training, keeps things fun, and will help you kind of discover some movements to get you stronger in ways that you didn't think you could. I finished off with some really strict rows at 60. This is a drop set right from that 110. So the only rest I had was taking the weight off the bar, and I got a pretty good pump out of these. I don't know if this was really physical failure as much as mental failure and just not wanting to push it as much, but I'll take it. And then finally finishing off the workout, I did some forearms here. Playing around with this exercise, I kind of want to try to see if I can work my way to the collar. It'd be pretty sweet. This is just a 20-pound bar, not a 45-pound bar. I'm not Superman here, so don't get too impressed. I just worked some ulnar deviation, and then I did one set of radial deviation as well, and then superset that with ulnar deviation again. I like this exercise. It's pretty good. We'll see if it really kind of juices up my forearms, helps with the grip strength a little bit, and see if that helps to carry over potentially to bench a little bit and squat. I do need to work some actual flexion as well, so I'm thinking about throwing that in on another day. I don't want it to affect my list too much, so I might do that on my either last bench day or my last lower body day of the week. Just kind of see how I can recover from it and what kind of gains I can get from it. Anyways, I'm just going to let some music play out, and you can watch me try to move this bar. I hope this video has been entertaining and a little bit helpful with how you should approach rehab. It shouldn't be easy. You need to find things that are comfortable to do, and then you need to push them hard. You need to work hard, and you need to be pushing your body close to failure so that you can get stronger. Just make sure that you're not aggravating your symptoms too much. A little bit is okay. Yeah, if you're holding back and if you're not pushing, or if your practitioner is not pushing you, then that is some subpar rehab, and that needs to be improved. Anyways, again, I hope you learned something, and I hope this gets you thinking, and thank you for watching. Now go out there and make some gains.